walked by the Hells Angels biker with her kids. When he saw her husband leave, he helped her. She walked past him without slowing down. Two children clinging to her coat. A biker with a skull patch and cold eyes watching from the curb. Everyone would assume danger. Everyone would be wrong, because sometimes help comes wrapped in fear, not kindness. The woman's name was Emily Carter. She walked with her head down, not because she was ashamed, but because looking up felt dangerous. Her left hand held her son's wrist. Her right arm carried her daughter, pressed tight against her chest. The girl's cheek rested on Emily's collarbone. She was too tired to cry. The sidewalk outside the gas station was cracked and uneven. Emily's shoes were thin, soaked from melted snow. Every step sent a dull ache up her legs, but she didn't slow down. She couldn't. Slowing meant thinking. Thinking meant fear. Her son, Noah, was 7. He kept glancing back, the way kids do when they don't understand what's happening but know it's wrong. His backpack bounced against his spine. It held a single hoodie, a toy car, and nothing else. That was when she felt it. Eyes on her, heavy, still. Watching, she glanced once, just once. A large man sat on a black motorcycle near the curb, leather vest, tattoos. A Hells Angels patch stitched into his back. His beard was thick, his arms were crossed. He didn't smile. Emily looked away immediately. Her grip tightened on her children. She whispered, "Keep walking." The biker's name was Cal Morrison. People crossed the street when they saw him coming. Clerks watched his hands when he entered stores. Mothers pulled children closer. He was used to it. He preferred it that way. He had been sitting outside the gas station for 20 minutes, engine off, coffee cooling between his boots. He wasn't waiting for anyone, just killing time before the road pulled him again. Then he saw her, not her face first, the way she walked, too controlled, like someone balancing a breaking glass inside their chest. He noticed the kids next. The boy's eyes, always scanning, always checking behind them. The girl's arms locked around her mother's neck like she might disappear. Cal had seen that look before, not in mirrors, in other people. Outside shelters, in hospital hallways, in parking lots at night. A black sedan rolled slowly behind them, too slow, matching their pace. The window cracked open. A man's voice spilled out, sharp, angry. The words weren't clear, but the tone was ownership. The woman didn't turn around. Her shoulders rose. Her steps quickened. Cal's jaw tightened. His fingers curled around the coffee cup until the lid bent. He stood up. Emily didn't need to hear the words to know who it was. She recognized the engine, the rhythm, the way it hovered instead of passing. Mark, her husband, or what was left of that word. The car slowed beside them. The window lowered more. "You think you can just walk away?" he shouted. "You don't have anything without me." Noah flinched. His hand slipped tighter into Emily's coat. Her daughter, Lily, whimpered once, then went quiet. Emily kept walking. Her heart slammed against her ribs, but her face stayed calm. She had learned that calm was protection. Calm meant less anger. Calm meant survival. The car rolled ahead, then stopped abruptly. Mark stepped out. His movements were loose, careless, dangerous. That was when the motorcycle engine roared to life. The sound cut through the air like a warning shot. Deep, loud, unavoidable. Cal rolled forward and stopped between the car and the family. He didn't look at Emily, not yet. His eyes stayed locked on Mark. "Problem?" Cal asked. His voice was low, flat. Mark laughed once, nervous. "Mind your business." But Cal didn't move. "Looks like my business." Silence stretched between the men, the kind that presses on your ears. Mark's confidence faltered. He looked at the bike. The patches, the size of the man standing in front of him. "You don't know her," Mark said. Cal nodded once. "Don't need to." Emily stood frozen behind him, Lily's breath warm against her neck. Noah's eyes were wide, fixed on Cal's back like it was a wall. Mark scoffed, but he stepped back. "Just a half step, enough to matter. She's my wife." Cal finally turned his head slightly, not toward Emily, toward the kids. He saw Noah's shaking knees, Lily's blue lips. He looked back at Mark. "Then act like it," Cal said. Mark cursed under his breath, climbed back into the car, and peeled away, tires screaming. The sound faded down the road, leaving only the ticking of cooling metal. Emily's knees buckled. She caught herself on the curb. She hadn't cried when Mark left. She hadn't cried when he shouted. But now, safe for one breath, tears slipped free. Cal turned fully toward her. His face softened just a little. "You okay?" he asked. Emily nodded, lied, "We will be." Section 5. 180-200 words. Cal crouched to Noah's level, slow and careful. "Hey, buddy, you cold?" Noah nodded, his teeth chattered. Cal shrugged off his leather jacket and held it out to Emily. "For the kid." She hesitated. Every warning she'd ever heard screamed at her to refuse, but Noah was shaking. Lily's fingers were stiff. She took it. "Thank you." Cal waved it off like it didn't matter. "You got somewhere to go." Emily swallowed. "Not really." The words felt heavy leaving her mouth, admitting it made it real. Cal glanced at the bus stop across the street. Empty, no schedule posted. He looked back at her shoes, at the kids' thin coats. "There's a diner a mile up," he said. "Warm, safe. You can sit as long as you want." Emily studied him, the tattoos, the scars, the kindness that didn't match the picture. "Why?" she asked. Cal shrugged. "Because someone once helped my sister when no one else did." That was all he said. Emily nodded. Trust wasn't something she gave easily, but she trusted the way he stood slightly sideways, not blocking her path. The way his voice stayed gentle. They walked together. Slowly, carefully, like people carrying something fragile. The diner smelled like coffee and old wood. The waitress didn't flinch at Cal's appearance. She just nodded and brought hot chocolate without being asked. Emily wrapped her hands around the mug. The heat burned, then soothed. Lily fell asleep against her shoulder. Noah swung his feet under the table, jacket still draped over him. Cal sat across from them, silent, giving space. Emily spoke first. "He left us this morning." Cal didn't interrupt. "He said I had nothing, that I'd come crawling back." Her voice shook. "I didn't want my kids to see that anymore." Noah stared into his cup. "He yells a lot," he whispered. Cal's jaw tightened, but he stayed calm. "You did the right thing." Emily let out a breath she didn't know she'd been holding. "I don't know how to start over." Cal reached into his pocket and slid a folded paper across the table. "Shelter 2 towns over. They helped my sister. They'll help you." Emily's eyes filled again, this time with relief. Outside, snow began to fall, soft, quiet, like the world was giving them a pause. They left the diner an hour later. Lily slept in Emily's arms. Noah walked taller now, jacket zipped up to his chin. Cal walked them to the bus stop. He didn't cross the line. He didn't ask for thanks. The bus headlights appeared in the distance. Emily turned to him. "I don't even know your name." "Cal, I'm Emily." She hesitated, then hugged him. Brief, careful, honest. "Thank you," she said. Cal nodded once. "Take care of those kids." "I will." The bus doors opened. Emily stepped on, then turned back. Cal was already walking away, hands in pockets, head down. As the bus pulled off, Noah pressed his face to the window. "Mom," he said softly. He wasn't scary at all. Emily smiled through tears. "No, sweetheart, he was." The road stretched ahead, uncertain, cold, but not empty anymore, because the air smelled like snow and exhaust. Her legs felt weak again, but this time it wasn't fear. It was exhaustion catching up. Inside, the heat wrapped around them. A woman with gray hair and soft eyes looked up from the desk. She didn't ask questions right away. She saw the children first. She saw the way Emily stood slightly in front of them like a shield. "You're safe here," the woman said simply. Those words broke something open. Emily nodded, but her throat closed. She hadn't realized how much she needed to hear them until they were said out loud. They were given a small room, 2 beds, clean sheets, a door that locked from the inside. Emily sat on the edge of the mattress and watched Noah take off his shoes. He lined them up neatly, like he always did when he wanted things to feel normal. Lily stirred and opened her eyes. "Mama, I'm here," Emily whispered, and for the first time all day, she believed it meant something solid. That night, Emily didn't sleep much. The room was quiet, but her mind was. Every sound made her heart jump. Footsteps in the hallway, a door closing somewhere down the hall. She lay awake, counting Noah's breaths, Lily's small sighs. She kept seeing Mark's face in her mind. The way his mouth twisted when he was angry. The way he laughed when she cried. She wondered if he was still looking for them, if he would show up, if leaving had been enough. Around 3 in the morning, Lily rolled over and reached for her. Emily took her hand and held it against her chest. The little fingers relaxed instantly. That simple trust hurt and healed her at the same time. Emily thought about Cal, about how easily she would have crossed the street if she'd seen him on any other day, how close she'd come to assuming the worst. She sat up slowly and looked at her children in the dim light. They were sleeping deeply now, safe for this moment. Emily pressed her palm flat against the wall, grounding herself. "We're still here," she whispered. It wasn't a promise yet, but it was a start. The days that followed moved quietly. Emily filled out forms, she spoke to counselors, she learned the rules of the shelter, curfew times, meal hours, shared spaces. Noah started school the next week. A donated backpack waited for him on the bed that first morning. He ran his fingers over the zipper like it was something fragile and rare. "Is it really mine?" he asked. Emily nodded. "It's yours." Lily spent her days in the playroom downstairs, clutching a stuffed bear with one missing eye. She named him Lucky. At night, Emily worked on her resume at a shared computer. Her hands shook at first. She hadn't believed in herself for a long time. Every sentence felt like a risk. Some nights were harder than others. Some nights she sat in the shower and cried so her kids wouldn't hear. But every morning she stood back up. One afternoon, a volunteer handed her a folded jacket. Leather, heavy, familiar. "There was a note with it," the woman said. Emily unfolded the paper. Just 5 words, written in rough handwriting. For the kid, "Stay warm." Emily closed her eyes and smiled through tears. She hung the jacket by the door, not as armor, but as proof. Weeks passed. Snow melted into rain. Rain gave way to early spring light. Emily found part-time work at a grocery store. It wasn't much, but it was hers. Noah started laughing again, real laughter, the kind that fills a room. Lily learned new words. She said home without fear. One evening, Emily stood outside the shelter watching the sun dip low. Her phone buzzed, an unknown number. Her chest tightened before she answered. "Emily, it was Cal. I asked the shelter if you made it," he said. "They said you did." She leaned against the wall, letting the cool brick steady her. "We did," she replied, "because of you." Cal was quiet for a moment. "Because of you," he corrected. Emily smiled. They talked for a few minutes. Nothing heavy, nothing dramatic. Just weather, work, kids growing fast. Before hanging up, Cal said, "You ever need anything?" "I know," Emily said gently. "Thank you." After the call ended, Emily looked back through the window at her children. She didn't feel rescued. She felt strengthened. Some help doesn't carry you. It reminds you that you can still walk. A year later, Emily signed the lease on a small apartment. 2 bedrooms, thin walls, a kitchen window that faced the sunrise. Noah chose the room closest to hers. Lily claimed the one with the bigger closet. Emily didn't argue. On moving day, Emily unpacked the leather jacket last. She hung it behind the door again. It smelled faintly of oil and road dust. That evening, they sat on the floor eating pizza from the box. Noah leaned back against the couch and sighed. "This feels quiet," he said. Emily nodded. "Quiet can be good." Later, when the kids were asleep, Emily stood alone in the living room. She listened to the hum of the refrigerator, the distant sound of traffic, ordinary sounds, safe sounds. She thought about the woman she'd been a year ago, walking fast, afraid to stop, carrying everything by herself. She wasn't that woman anymore. Emily turned off the light and whispered into the dark, "We made it." The words didn't echo. They settled, like something finally put down after being carried too long. Sometimes Emily still saw Mark around town, from a distance, across a parking lot, in passing reflections. He never approached her again. She never wondered why. Fear had loosened its grip, not gone, but quieter, manageable. One Saturday, Emily took the kids to a roadside diner outside town. Old place. Rusted sign, motorcycles lined the curb. Her heart skipped once, out of habit. Then she saw Cal, sitting at a corner table, coffee in hand. He stood when he saw them. Noah waved first. Lily ran to him without hesitation. Cal laughed, surprised. He lifted her easily. "Hey, lucky bear," he said, noticing the toy tucked under her arm. Emily watched the scene with calm eyes. No fear, just gratitude. They sat together for a while. Shared fries, simple stories. When it was time to leave, Cal nodded toward the kids. "You did good," he said. Emily shook her head gently. "We did." Outside, engines roared to life. The sound no longer felt threatening. It felt like motion, like forward. That night, Noah asked a question he'd been holding for a long time. "Mom," he said softly, "are we safe forever now?" Emily sat on the edge of his bed. She brushed his hair back. She didn't rush the answer. "We're safe today," she said, "and tomorrow we'll keep choosing safety again." Noah thought about that, then nodded. It was enough. In Lily's room, Emily tucked the blanket around her small body. Lily's eyes fluttered closed. "Mama." "Yes, baby, you didn't let go." Emily swallowed. "No," she whispered. "I didn't." She turned off the light and stood in the hallway for a moment, breathing, remembering, letting go of the weight she no longer needed. Some stories don't end with applause or dramatic music. Some end quietly, with doors locked, lights off, children asleep, and a woman standing still long enough to realize she is no longer running. Years later, Emily would tell the story simply, not about fear, not about the worst days. She would talk about a road, about walking forward, about a man on a motorcycle who reminded her that kindness doesn't always look gentle. Noah grew tall, Lily grew brave, Emily grew steady. And sometimes, when life felt heavy again, she remembered that moment outside the gas station. The sound of an engine, the space between danger and safety. She remembered that help had found her, but only because she had chosen to walk. That was the truth she carried forward. That was the extraordinary thing about ordinary people. They don't wait to be saved. They move, they endure, they protect. And when help arrives, they accept it without shame. Because strength isn't never needing help. Strength is knowing when to keep going. And she did. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and press the bell.